Good afternoon, ladies and gents, and we're at the Church of St George in the East on Cannon Street Road. I've been wanting to do this one for a little while. Well, most of the churches I've been wanting to do for a little while, so one does sound somewhat repetitive. Take some pictures while I'm here. Zoom in. Oops, too far that, wasn't it? The architectural details on this one are quite lovely. This is a Hawksmoor church, one of the, I believe it's 50 churches they had to build when the big population boom of London occurred and the Industrial Revolution and everything. They realised that they didn't have enough churches, or churchyards in fact, for all the population, so hence the creation of this lovely church. They're very, very elegant, simple and elegant, the Hawksmoor churches. I don't think the crypt is open today, but the church appears to be. St George's Garden. There's a bit of a history there for you. I'll photograph that. Pause now if you wish to read it. If not, you'll see the photograph. Off we go. We'll have a walk around this way. A couple of tombs there. Not sure where the main entrance for the church actually is. It's up here. Yeah, I think it is, yeah, because that's a nursery down there that I nearly went into. So, flat 4. That's obviously the rectory. Zoom out so I can get the whole building in. Yeah. Right, and up these very old and slightly worn stairs we go. It makes you wonder how many footsteps have gone up these over the years. Thousands, literally. Footsteps and the unfortunate tread of coffins, and the happy tread of wedding vows and baby shawls for christenings. Right, so lovely place. Oh look, there's a graveyard kind of affair over there. Glad I came over this way. I don't know if you can get into it or not. If you can, that will be something we do afterwards. Right. Some of the architectural detail on the Hawksmoor churches are really lovely. As I say, simple, elegant, but majestic as well, which is how I heard it described to me. So, alright, I'm just going to pause you for a sec while I say to things, and we should be going in. In we go in a sec. Pause you now. In we go. Built between, I think, 1714 and 1729. The full history of this lovely church will, of course, appear in the description box. And as you will see, it was heavily damaged in the war, as a lot of the London churches. Erected on April the 26th, 1964 by the Bishop of London, Rector the Reverend A.M. Solomon, Church Wardens and such. Let's take a picture of that. This here obviously gets you into the bell tower, so that would be an interesting one to explore, wouldn't it? Church entrance is over this way, but I want to take a photo of this before we go in. Realistically windy and very cold, so I should be glad to get into the church. And Carol, who's the church warden at Barking St Margaret, she did say to me it's looking a little bit sad in some places, which you will see now. And it is easy for us to say, why can they let it get like that? But think for a moment, right? They don't get lots and lots of funding from their diocese. We live in the era of the cost of living crisis. The churches do a lot with the poor and the people who are really struggling. So a lot of their money, rather than going on repairs, is having to go on that. That's why they apply for lottery grants and such. And so even some vicars will moan about their own diocese and say that they pinch with the pennies and they won't release funds until it's absolutely necessary. Well, I think in a case like this, it is necessary, isn't it? You don't want to lose a Hawksmoor church, which was, as you can see, pretty much heavily lost in the war. It's got a lovely font. Bell tower, look, that's amazing. I'd love to be able to look inside there. That would be fascinating, wouldn't it? I will save the altar till last. It's the most spectacular bit after all. Don't know what's around here, if anything. Just some more doors out. April the 6th, 1941. This painting commemorates the destruction of the original interior of this church by incendiary bomb during the Blitz. Painted some 50 years later and presented by the artist Peter Bedford, who was a member of the pacifist service units, was fire watching on the church roof on the night when the bomb fell. Oh wow. Remembered before God the destruction and the honour of war. Pray and work for peace and reconciliation in our world. Well, you can't say better than that, can you? Peter Bedford. The artwork itself. We saw the big organ and this is the smaller one. Carol did say to me it's very 1960s brutalist architecture in this one. This is where the church warden's wand would go. Step back without crashing into anything. In love and memory of Alexander Solomon, rector 1958 to 1979, whose vision inspired the rebuilding of the church, of this church, sorry. That's a very important thing, so I shall capture that, of course. It's incredibly windy outside. Oh, this is nice, the candlestick. I didn't notice that. I don't know if that's wind or rain I can hear. Look at the detail, look. So yeah, it was an incendiary bomb that got this one, unfortunately. The loaves and fishes miracle, that is the fish shown. Now we should go back round on ourselves and then do the high altar. Then we've got the outside to cover more of. It's a nice piano. It's always dreadfully tempting to play a church piano, but I'm not known in a lot of the churches that I go to. So. One must not take liberties. It's a beautiful church, really, it's lovely. Look at the mosaic tiles. Oh. I'll only walk up to the altar table, I won't go behind because it's disrespectful. There we are, and I can get good pictures from here. Hang on a minute. There we are. Paul's due. Six, don't you back up. Trying to get this in without falling. Or hurting myself. Or knocking anything over in the process. The middle one, I know I like to get things evenly on, but if I do it like that, you'll have the candlestick in there, in the front of it. And that won't do at all, will it? Now the beautiful dome, which is one of the original features of the church. A lot of the Hawksmoor churches have these. And as you can see, the detail is really quite stunning. Some pictures, and you see what I mean about the damage. So that's water damage, that is. You can really hear the wind blowing. So we're very quite near to the river here. It's a pretty easy one for me to get to. This was journey planner was my friend today and everything, so yeah, did well, did all right. This is the lectern where the priest or minister and vicar will stand and give the lesson or the sermon, such. And you've got what Carroll called brutalistic architecture views And there's oh look, there's another holder there for the warden's wand. If you see these in churches, these little holders or whatnot, where it looks like a stick would go in, that is exactly what it is. It's a wand or a staff of office that church wardens always used and were still given today. And in the old days, believe it or not, they were actually to keep rowdy people in their places. So the church wasn't always a peaceful and sanctified place as we think of it. And then you've got over here, look, candle snuffs. I didn't notice them there. Right. I think that will do us for the interior, won't it? So I'll pause you for a moment and then we'll go back outside. I'll see you in a sec. God, it does need repair, doesn't it? Bless it. I want to get a zoom in on this. I don't normally like brutalist architecture, but the chandelier there I do like. That's not bad. Alright, so see you all in a minute. We are back outside and I didn't notice this on my way in, and I'm glad I have noticed this because I like, of course, it's obviously who this church is named for is St George, and that's St George slaying the dragon. So underneath the church is a nursery on one side and a crypt on the other, but the crypt is closed, so yeah. As you can tell by the symmetry of my photographs, I probably have got OCD. I enjoyed it. Over I went. Ouch, that hurt. To the glory of God and in loving memory of Charles John Bedford, priest, rector of this parish, 1925 to 36. The bells of this church were completely restored 1938. So see that one. Gosh, that really hurt. Wouldn't it be interesting to look in there? That's obviously a key safe, look. I don't know what that is. It's for a light or something, but oh, that's that light up there. Take a picture of that. And I'll turn it back off. Liberties. Go. It's not. What a lovely church. Right, now we should go down here and round. And I don't normally put my hat on in churchyards, but it's so cold. I'm going to today, if you don't mind. Ooh, very cold. Minutes nearly, that's not bad. Cable Street School over there. So we are on Cable Street. I will only photograph that once or something because I don't like Crypt Hall. I'll check that one out in a minute. If you can get the crypt, that'll be a separate filming, but I think it's a nursery, So I am not under any circumstances wandering in. Yeah, I can hear kids. I'm not wandering in there with the phone going, so I will discreetly investigate first. And we've got a couple of the old parishioners here, and I always like this. To the memory of Mr. William Carter, who departed this life the 17th of November 1846, aged 41 years. In love he lived, in peace he died. His life was asked, but God denied. Also Harriet, daughter of the above, who departed this life the 8th day of March 1847 in her 4th year. Also Charles, son of the above, who departed this life October the 17th 1848, aged 2 years and 9 months. Also Mrs. Elizabeth Carter, who departed this life February the 21st 1887, aged 82 years, interred at Ilford Cemetery. Because don't forget, in between the 1840s when Mr. William Carter died and when Mrs. Elizabeth Carter died, they pretty much banned all burials in London churchyards when the Burials Act came in. So it could be that reason that she's buried there. It could also be that she lived in Ilford or near Ilford Cemetery. People that could afford a grave like this, they would try and bury them together if they could. And this has obviously been damaged, but it's got also Christian B-L-E-H-L, Blill, son of the above, who died September the 8th 1826 in his 35th year. And it's got also Thomas B-L-E-H-L, yeah, Blill, son of the above, who died May the 30th 1841 in his 10th year. And over here you've got a box tomb, which is obviously behind this fence. It's a children's playground, obviously, for the nursery, and there's more graves over there. You've got to the memory of Mr. Andrew Wilson of this parish, who departed this life on November the 7th 1848, aged 66. Also Mrs. Mary Ann Wilson, wife of the above, who departed this life on the June the 5th 1823, aged 36. Also Mrs. Elizabeth Sarah Wilson, daughter of the above, who departed this life May... Oh look, and it is May the 50th, look. I'm zooming in on that. Oh, sorry, May 30th, beg your pardon. I do beg your pardon. May the 30th, 1831, aged 8 years. And at the foot of the tomb, you've got to the memory of Mr. Joshua Wilson, who departed this life November the 10th, 1861, aged 35 years, interred at Ilford Cemetery. Ah, that's another one. So. Also, Mr. George Henry Wilson, who departed this life August the 2nd, 1862, aged 42 years, interred at Ilford Cemetery. And then also Mr. Robert Wilson, who departed this life March the 12th, 1863, aged 16 years, interred at Ilford Cemetery. So... Oh, you're right.
That was closed.
Yeah, it's closed round there. Yeah, I tried to get through that way, but I have to go back round the other way. Yeah, you all right? Yeah.
Happy New Year, brother.
And you, mate. Yeah, take care. Wish you well. Wish you a good one. Thanks, man. I meet some very nice people on my travels doing all this, which I rather enjoy, believe it or not. Not the greatest people person in the world. Look, there's another tomb there. Can't really photograph that one that well unless I go right up like that. No. Ah, no. Oh well, you'll have to just put up with the meshing, I'm afraid, guys and girls. Hang on. I may be able to do it this way. That's it. Be careful not to drop my phone in there because I won't get it back. Right, I'm going to take you around the front here and do the other view. We'll go back round this way, go to the other end of the churchyard so we get the full view of the church. I'll end this one, then I shall inquire about the crypt hall, which, as I say, I won't be filming as I go into it. So if it's an available one, we shall start there. If not, then like it or not, this is what you got. So there's another box tomb here with a delightful domestic waste and rubbish bin next to it. How charming. Did I take a picture of that? I don't think I did. And I should like to. Vicarage is nice, isn't it? The rectory. Tell that's Georgian. Lovely church, isn't it? I'm stepping backwards, making sure nothing's driving in behind me. It's quite a busy area. There we go. I'll have to magic erase the car out. That's alright. There you go. Can't beat a nice church, can you? And, well, some of its former glory is there, but I don't like to see them looking sad and worn and whatnot like this. It's the way of the world. We don't live in a perfect world, do we? Writing's all worn away on that one. The family grave of J.F. Hasted. It has got writing on it, but it's very worn. And my eyesight's rather poor, so I'll take a photograph of it. If anyone can figure that out, we shall be in business. Here you've got a little park area over here, so I don't know what this is about. We will have a look. We're nearly 30 minutes, so we're in our remit. Green Gables Nursery, that is. So I'm not quite sure. Don't know what this park here takes us to, but we'll have a look. Even if we can manage to get some nice photos of the church from it, so that'll do. Snap. And another thing Carol warned me about, and funny enough, when you go on the church online notice board thing, it does say if your guests and visitors are always welcome to the church, if you intend to have a ramble around the churchyard, please do not wear expensive or much loved footwear, because it's obviously like muddy, and I've seen several dogs wandering around. So let's hope none of them's had a tom tit and I end up treading in it. That'll make a nice picture. Trees and all. There we go. I don't know where this here path leads me to, but I'm quite sure I shall find out. I'm pointing you up while watching the floor because I do not wish to tread in dog muck. Another couple of little interesting things I've found on my walk here, which will be a little snippet video which I'll show you on the way back. What we got over here, because Carol did say to me about going around the back. I'm just going to point you this way because someone's coming along. Ah, there we are. Sorry. Oh, this is nice. And to my left, which I'll show you in a minute because there's people there, there are other gravestones. And an abandoned building with no roof. I see. What are we? Well, it may just go, if it goes over the 35 minutes, it will be a YouTube and share from there. Making sure I don't tread in anything, preferably. Oh, there's quite a few gravestones here. I may do a separate churchyard live for this one then. Yeah, I'm going to do a separate churchyard live for this one, guys and girls, so you shall join me then, if you like that kind of thing. Let's wait for these people to go away, and then I shall start over in this corner over there. So I'll see you in a sec. Wait for them to go. I want to get that whole thing in. There we go. That's it. Right. Join me in a minute for the churchyard live, which will be part 2.